This is a straight arm cable pull down using a straight bar as the attachment. I like the straight bar attachment when I want to load this exercise a little bit heavier, but the rope attachment is also really good because it allows your hands to get behind your body and slightly increase the range of motion and essentially take the muscle to shorter muscle lengths. This exercise primarily targets the lats, and it also targets the long head of the tricep. You'd be surprised how much tricep involvement there is in this exercise simply by keeping the arm straight and fighting the resistance of the cable that's trying to bend your arm. Your foot position, or how far you stand from the cable, will significantly change the stimulus of this exercise. So as you can see here, I'm standing a few steps away from the cable, which means that the most difficult part of this repetition is at the bottom of the rep, when my arms are close to my body, and it's easier when my arms are further away from my body. But if I were to take a few steps forward and stand closer to the cable, as you're seeing here, it becomes less difficult at the bottom of the repetition, which means that this is quite a good way to create a mechanical drop set. In other words, if you start a set standing a few steps away and you get to the point of failure, you can always take a few steps forward, which makes it a little bit easier to get back down to that locked out position. If you drop down to your knees, it will allow you to increase your range of motion and get a much better stretch at the top of the repetition. As you can see, my hands are able to go much higher than if I was in the standing position. Certain machines are different, but in general, the cable stack will be the limiting factor of your range of motion. Dropping to your knees is a really easy way to mitigate that problem. It allows for more range of motion, and the same rules apply in terms of how close you are to the cable. The further away you are, the more difficult it is at the bottom of the repetition, while the closer you are, the easier it is at the bottom and the more difficult it is at about the midpoint. So when the cable is perpendicular to your arms, it is the most difficult, and when the cable is parallel to your arms, it is the easiest. So play around with your positioning and figure out what feels best for you to get the appropriate stimulus for your lats.